What's up, EDC family? I am doing the Virgo mid-March tarot. These mid-monthly focuses, I started in February. It's just saying, where it'll be beneficial for us to focus our energy so that we can get the desired outcome in whatever situation, so that we can move forward in the highest vibration, just live our best life so we all can win. So we're going to get into Virgo mid-March. And this is energy that's taking you from mid-March through to the beginning of April. Time is an illusion. It's not just a start-stop. It doesn't start on the 15th and end on the 31st. That's not how this thing works. It's basically whenever you see it. Whenever you are led to watch this reading, that's when it's for you. So let's see, Virgo, what's going on mid-March. Mid-March. Oh, no jumpers, but that was the Three of Cups. So looks like some good energy. At least you're trying to have a good time or being around people who can show you a good time and make you feel a little better. Let's see, Virgo mid-March. So we have the Page of Swords, looking out for something, watching, seeing, maybe even doing a little investigating. Goodness gracious, a lot of this retrograde it's always the end of it. The pre-shadow phase, the beginning of retrogrades, it's never a problem for me. Never a problem. It's when it gets toward the end. It's either the end of the retrograde or into that post-shadow phase. Like, oh my God. I would probably rather to feel the brunt of it in the beginning, like most people. But it's always the end. I got to look in my chart and see why it is that the end energies. I'm pretty sure I have something at like the 28th or 29th degree. Oh, Jesus. Anyway. I feel like you're either looking for something or you kind of just are investigating something. It's the end of a situation. But I feel like you're just being called to a higher place. You're being called to be more, to do more, to show up to life. And I think the end of something is what caused you to do that. So it could be you kind of feeling that you may be up on the chopping block at your job. You may feel like your job is in danger, or you've come to an end of a relationship or a marriage, or you feel yourself about to fall out with a friend or a family member, and it's like you're just being called to a higher self, meaning that, okay, let's say in this job you feel like you're about to be fired, but you like, you know what, I think it's time for me to start my own business anyway. Or a relationship is ending and you're like, I deserve better anyway. I lowered my standards to be with this person anyway. Or it's like, dang, this is coming to an end. Maybe I shouldn't have did that. Maybe in the future I'll move forward being a better person. Because y'all ain't perfect either. I just wanted to add that in there. I just like saying stuff to kind of set people off sometimes. It's the Aquarius in me. I'm just playing. Or it could be like, you feel yourself about to fall out with a family member or a friend or something. And it's like, okay, I could keep going back and forth with you and there's drama, or allowing you in my life where you just kind of, you always take jabs at me or try to make me feel bad about myself. Oh, excuse me, guys. But you know what? I don't have to let you in my energy. I'm going to start being stingy with my energy. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I'm going to snip. I'm going to cut the situation. And I'm really just going to rise to that point in life where I finally choose me first. So that's what I mean by saying this. Like, you see an ending of a situation coming, but you know that it's for your ultimate good. It's going to help you move forward in life. It's going to help you move into a whole new basically a whole new paradigm in life. It's a whole shift happening here. I feel like a way that you may have always seen yourself, you're finally getting the chance to act in that, what used to be just like a fantasy. You're finally getting to be that person. You're getting to be who you've always been. You just never allowed yourself to be that, if that makes sense. For some people, you're thinking really long and hard on a situation. I feel like this is for those who may have been the problem and not so much the solution. um, you may have been kind of like sitting back and kind of like stalking a situation. Like you may be looking at somebody's Facebook page, or you're looking at all their social media, or you are running back over all of their texts, like trying to just analyze what it is that they may have meant. It's like you're in deep study mode about something outside of yourself. Usually with the Four of Swords card, I feel like this is like, self-evaluation and trying to think about something, and trying to come to a conclusion within yourself. Partnered with the Page of Swords, I feel like you are just heavily, heavily, heavily like in detective mode about somebody else. Like you're watching somebody else, or you're trying to analyze somebody else's every move to figure out what it means. What did they mean when they said this, or what did that mean? Instead of taking anything for face value, is like you are just being super, super, super analytical about somebody else right now. You could be looking at their statuses like on Twitter or their IG post or on Facebook and be like, okay, what did that mean? Or are they talking about me? Or did they post that, to make me feel some type of way? And I feel like you may just kind of need to let that go. Like just kind of get out of that energy. Yeah, because that King of Swords, like you'll run your own self. You'll run your own self crazy. The King of Swords is kind of like it can be an energy of like manipulation on a lower vibrational level, but you're being called to be like be better about yourself. Because if you find yourself in a situation where you have to analyze everything, that's probably a sign that you already know there's something about you that needs to be changed anyway. Because you wouldn't be that defensive, you know. Yeah, you wouldn't be that defensive if you were sure of yourself. So if you are just like going around and around and around and around in your mind about, was this person talking about me, or was that status about me, or what is this person doing? Are they thinking about me? me, me. I think you just kind of need to step away from the situation, kind of step away, embody that King of Swords energy that's on a higher vibrational level where it's like, okay, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I would like to happen. If the situation does not, match those standards or favor those odds, then maybe it's not for me. Maybe I should go forth and find something that is for me. But those who, well, I'm really feeling like, there are some people who are in a situation, you see it coming to an end, and you're just like, you're going to answer that higher calling for yourself now and move into another paradigm. Then when I went to pulling these, the clarifier cards, this is more of the energy where somebody knows that they kind of dropped the ball somewhere. So it's like you looking at another party, trying to understand how they feel about you, rather than you coming forth and just, having that conversation. It's like you're being called to come forth and, make amends or explain yourself, and not even explain yourself like, admit to any wrong or whatever, but just try to have that conversation and say where it was that you were mentally, instead of just leaving, the situation kind of cloudy. Because I feel for some of you, it's like you're sitting back kind of watching the damage of what you did, or you're waiting to see just how much damage you did instead of coming in. It's almost like you want a reason to punish yourself. Like that's, oh, Virgo. How many times have we gone through this? How many times have we had this conversation, Virgo? It's like you are actually standing back and wanting to see just how much bad may have come from something that you did with the energy that I'm feeling here. Like maybe you are looking at where you maybe tried to manipulate a situation in your favor. And you can do that through, just like I just told, who was it? Aries. You can manipulate in a number of ways. It doesn't mean that you were like specifically being conniving or telling lies. It could be like, playing victim, or, people pleasing, wanting to embody that quote unquote humble role while knowing that you have a self serving reason for helping. That's manipulation too. But it's like somebody is just like standing back, really trying to understand, okay, are they hurt? Are they making hurt statuses about me? Are they still mad at me? Are these kind of snarky statuses about me? It's weird. It's really weird. But you're being called to just say what it is that that was going on. You're being called to just, come clean about what it is or where you were wrong, instead of kind of that's what it is. Okay, I've been trying to sort through this energy and try to just, talk through it so maybe I can get some understanding. But it just came to me, for whoever this reading is for, what it is that you did wrong. So now it's like you're looking for a reaction from them so that y'all can be on the same level. Because as long as you are the one who did wrong and the other person is not the person who did wrong, or as long as you did wrong and the other person did not retaliate against you, you still feel inferior in some way. So it's like you're not going to come forth. It's like you're going to try to save face. But if you can see them react to what you did or what you said or how you were to them in a relationship, it makes you two equal. So then you'll feel like, okay, well, I did wrong, but then you did wrong too. So now I can come forth and say where I did wrong and we can work it out because we both did wrong. That's manipulative too, Virgo. That's what I'm talking about. That's manipulation. Somebody doesn't have to match you in wrongdoing before they're worthy of an apology, or before they are worthy of you going in and saying, yeah, I was wrong. Lord. Lord. Listen, because I'm not that type of person. So I would never think to even say this in a reading. That's why it's like sometimes I have to kind of like talk through an energy to understand it. And then it just hits me like, oh my God, really? Really? Is that what we're doing? High Priestess. I feel like you already know. You already know. If this is for you, you know it. If this is for you, you know it. You're still trying to balance light and dark within yourself. And sometimes when you feel like the dark and you see the other party as the light, it's hard to consolidate that. It's hard to balance that. That's where that feeling of inferiority comes from. That's when that inability to show your true self comes from. But you have to realize that you're worthy of love, even in your darkness. You have to realize that you're worthy of, being cared about, even when you're not, the most upstanding person. You don't have to kind of sit back and wait for another person to match your darkness before you come in and say, oh, you know what, I was wrong. I feel like we should try to work through this. I feel like we can do better. I feel like I can do better. Like that's where I felt that energy of like you almost needing to kind of punish yourself. But not only just punishing yourself, it's like you almost want to wait till another person falls too before you feel comfortable with them, because you identify with that fallen energy. So you want to wait till they fall too before you come back to them, or before you go back and, kind of explain yourself or lay it all out on the table. And you don't have to do that, Virgo. Like, even when you make a mistake, you're still a person. Even when you make a mistake, you're still worthy of love. And I feel like the other party would know that. This doesn't even have to be just like in a relationship. It could be just, in any type of situation. And I feel like actually when you try to save face, you make it worse on yourself. Let's see what we got going on here. My happiness is a direct reflection of my level of faith in the universe. Mm. You'll like shortchange yourself. You'll shortchange yourself when you stay in that energy of identifying with the darkness or the shadow side, or that fallen energy where you've like fall from grace, or you fell from that level of perfection that you like to aspire to. You stay in that energy until you learn that you're lovable in all states of who you are. That there's nothing that you can do that can take you out of the grace of our highest power, of the creator. Nothing that you can do that can take you out of the love of source, of God, of whoever you pray to. There's nothing you can do that can remove you from that love. And so I would hope that you can see that reflected in all people, meaning that whoever that you may have felt that you did wrong by, you don't have to wait for that person to fall too before you can, present yourself back to that person, before you can come back to that person with your head held up high. If you can find it within yourself to still be happy with yourself, you can go back to a person, even if you know you've made a mistake, and you can say, okay, I know I was wrong, but can we try this again? Because you know that you're worthy of a second chance. You're worthy of grace, of mercy, of forgiveness. But you have to find that place within yourself where you feel worthy of grace and mercy and forgiveness before you can ever muster up the courage to go ask somebody else for it, or to go back to another person. Because you know what, sometimes the other person, like, the other party who you feel like didn't stoop to your level, or the other party who is still in a light energy, and who is still loving, and who is still forgiving, and who has not taken shots at you, and who has not, said anything to belittle you, regardless of what it is that you may have done or may have said, or how you may have acted in a situation. Sometimes they are so loving and so forgiving that you come back in and they're gonna act like nothing even happened, because you've already been forgiven, and the whole time it was you that was being hard on yourself, not that person. So you have to consolidate that light and darkness within yourself before you can move, forward and be open. The world card is like, okay, here I am, flaws and all. Accept me. I do wrong. Sometimes I do wrong. Sometimes I do right. I'm a person. I'm an imperfect being, but I'm perfectly imperfect in being. And when you accept that within yourself, and you balance that lightness and that darkness within yourself, instead of being so super obsessed with perfectionism, or super obsessed with being the light, and then so down and hard on yourself when you find yourself having been the darkness, you have to balance that and realize that there is no really right or wrong. It just is. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes we do good things good, sometimes we do things bad. That's just us as people. And you have to just trust that source is still going to love you. The creator is still going to love you. The universe is still conspiring on your behalf. Whatever decision you make, the universe is going to try to work around it, and work things out for the best on your behalf. It's just up to you to direct that energy. So when you're hard on yourself, you make things unnecessarily hard on yourself. When you forgive yourself, you'd be surprised at how many other people are willing to forgive you too, and how many other people won't hold grudges. If you find yourself living a life where it seems like everybody holds grudges against you, it's because you hold grudges against yourself. You hold yourself to impossible standards, so other people hold you to impossible standards. It's all starting with you, and I feel like that's where you will benefit most by focusing in mid-March. Stop kind of looking for other people's reaction, or waiting until other people kind of match you in wrongdoing before you feel that you are worthy of, coming forth and talking to them again. Don't shun yourself because you made a mistake. Oh, All right. So that has been your Virgo mid-March reading. I think I'm going to do the Leo and then I will call it a day for right now because I need to answer this phone. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.